guys, welcome back to another video. Now today I thought I would talk to you a little bit about a costume that I've got going on at the moment. I've had this going on for a little bit, but I thought I'd just talk about one of the pieces I've already completed, which is this. This is my Phase 2 Clonetrooper helmet. It's all done and painted up, but we've got a few other little bits to go onto it, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. First, I thought I'd just walk you through where I got it and how I got it to where it is right now. So this was a kit that was bought on the 501st Clonetrooper forums. I'll leave a link in the description below. But this was a kit from David. I think it came from Italy, but it is a fantastic casting. There you go. Now, one of the main parts of this helmet is that it has a very small neck ring, or where you put your head through. So what you have to decide when you get the kit is whether you're going to take out by cutting all this out here, you know, removing it, or if you're going to modify it in some other ways so you can get it on your head. So with mine, I don't know if you've spotted it, but the face actually comes off. So I had to very carefully cut this free when I got it. I spent about 2 hours cutting very carefully around the edge of here so we can free up the face to get it on. As you might be able to hear, I have installed magnets into this, so there they are. Just have to do a bit of mod work, you know, line them all up and then use some Bondo type product to secure them in there. But it just snaps together like so and can snap around my head. So in terms of paint, this was just primed with a standard grey primer and then painted in a Rust-Oleum matte white. The Garrison colours, which are the 212, were painted on using I think it was a Halford's Warehouse Orange, I think it is, but I used some latex just to put in the all the weathering here and all the bits that were going to chip away, and then it was just hit with a wash of black acrylic just to take it down. I sort of washed it, dry brushed it, did all sorts just to keep adding the layers. I'm especially happy with my blast mark on the brow there. I think that's awesome. Now the kit came with the two aerators here, the chin piece, and these bits here. Now these two little bits here are actually pop rivets that have just been modded a little bit and glued in. This was just painted up, and I also added some mesh to the aerators here, just to add a bit more realism. And you might be able to see there's also mesh behind the teeth there. Now what I still have to do is we've got to install some padding, as there's nothing in here so far to help cushion it, except for that little piece of foam I put to help protect my nose. We've got to do a full padding job to sort out the inside, and I've also bought a set of fans to go inside. Now this was a fan kit, also bought off of the Clonetrooper forums. They're two little mini fans that run off of a battery pack. I've got to work out the best way to put them in. I think I'm going to be putting them into the front of the helmet, into where the aerators are. They should fit, and then the battery pack might even fit behind if I run the wires behind. So we're just going to figure that out, and I'm going to do that and show you how I do it. Now in terms of padding, I've got some of this squishy foam. This was left over from my thing I did a few weeks ago, which was putting the officer parts into a box. This is the foam that I pulled out, so you can see it's segmented. It was just a camera case, so you could pull the bits out. But this should serve as a good base to start putting some foam in. I've also got lots of EVA foam, floor mats. If you're a cosplayer and you haven't got floor mats to make stuff out of, I recommend going to get some straight away. but we should be able to use that as well. Now I did buy these. Now these are airsoft helmet pads, so they're just sort of squishy and covered in fabric. I had been using some of these, but they're a bit on the thick and solid side, so I wasn't finding it very comfortable in there with these in. So I may have another go with putting these sort of strategically around, but I think we're just going to go with the squishy foam because it's going to be a lot more comfortable in the end. So let's have a look at mapping some out in there and getting some hot glue and gluing it in. So at the moment it's just kind of resting on my nose, which really isn't very comfortable, and kind of on my shoulders. So I need some up top, up here, just to lift it up. Ooh. So I've got my foam laid out here. Like I said, this is the offcuts that I was using. What I think I'm going to do before I put it in the helmet is just back it with some nylon webbing. Now I'm just going to use this just to hold these bits together because they're a bit sort of open here, but it should give us something solid to glue into the helmet as well. I'm just going to be using hot glue, so let's get on with that. So I've just used the flame to seal the end there, stops it fraying even more from the cut. So there we go, that's the nylon strips on there. I think I should be able to get away with just these 3 bigger pieces. I've done a little test fit into the helmet and I think we should be alright. So I'm going to go ahead and glue them in. Of course we've got a test fit as we go, so I'm just going to try it on. Seems good, so I'm just going to pop in the other 2. So there we go, that's sitting much better on my head now. You see it's not sitting on my shoulders like it was before, and it's not really sitting on my nose. Again, we can just tweak it as we go, but overall I think that's gone pretty well. Look at that. Now in terms of the fans here, I think it should be pretty easy. What I'm thinking is just to attach some Velcro to the back and have them Velcro in. I think this is the intake, and then it just blows out the front. I think that's what it is. I'm going to fire it up and test it with the batteries before we put it in, but what I'm thinking is something like that, where they're both sitting, intaking air from the bottom and just blowing it upwards. Here we go, I found some batteries, so let's give it a go. The connector on here, and the power button is here. So the intake is actually here, and this is what's spinning, and it's chucking air out of the top here, so we'll have to position these so that they push air up towards my face. Something like that, so that's going this way across the visor so we don't fog up. So to attach these in, I'm just going to be using standard hook and loop attachment, or Velcro. It's self-adhesive. We might just help it down with a bit of glue. I'm going to cut this down into little sections just so we can pop the fans in and out should we have to. They shouldn't need to come out very often, but yeah, it should just help keep them in. So I'm putting the coarser side onto the batteries and onto the fans. That way, if I don't have the fan kit in, the soft side is the one that's in the helmet and is not going to rub up against my face. You don't want that. keep test fitting. Not that any of this isn't reversible, but can't hurt to keep putting it in and seeing, making sure. So there we go, they can just sit in there now. I'm just tucking the wires behind for the moment. We can probably find a more permanent way to do that in a little bit, but we've got our lead, which will then go into the back. So let's just pop the battery pack into the back. Yeah, so up here on this flat bit would be ideal, but my ear is around here, so what we're going to actually have to do is try and get it into this bit here. I think what I'm going to do is get some floor mat foam. That's it. We'll get some EVA foam, glue it in here, and give us a nice flat surface to pop that onto. Let's find some. So I just readied my box of scraps. Always have a box of scraps. Yeah, this is off cut from something else, but it looks like it's going to be just the right size to fill that out a little bit and give us more of a flat surface. So we're just going to hot glue that in, I think. I'll just trim it up. Just stuck the Velcro on there. That went down good. So I'm just going to use some hot glue to tack the top and bottom and give us a nice flat surface in there for the battery pack to attach to. Oh, we need to reload. Reload! Going to do the top and bottom as well of that, just because that's what's going to touch here. Again, if this turns out to be getting in the way, it's not too permanent, and we can just kind of pull it back out again. Try something different. Hey, that sits on there. We've got that connected. Let's just test that this still works, because hopefully it should. Okay, we're not working. So we had a bit of a blip there. As I was installing it, the fans suddenly weren't working. I had to take it all apart and kind of see what was going on. I thought maybe the magnets had upset the batteries and the fans in some way, or the Velcro that I popped onto here had affected it. But on taking it all apart, turns out there's an issue with the battery box, and apparently this is quite a standard issue with these, in that the positive wire has indeed come unsoldered. So I'm just going to reattach that and hopefully get it all sorted out. So I'm just going to grab the soldering iron and have a go at putting that back on. And don't get me wrong, I'm nothing but a amateur when it comes to soldering, but what we're going to do is just touch this on here. We're going to grab our solder. Okay, we need to strip that back a bit more. We're going to cut some of this free a bit more. It's not going to work. Okay. So basically what I had to do was actually rewire all of this here. Make sure that's off. That off. So what I did was put new wires in all up here and redid this here and reconnected this to the connector, and we seem to have it working again. So I'm just going to pop this battery box back together and hopefully we can get to installing it in the helmet. Now it is pretty loud in here. I don't know how well you can hear these or hear me, but I'm going to have to kind of play with the placement of these, but they seem to be doing a pretty good job. I'm not steaming up. And it's pretty cool in here, so I consider this a success. So there we are. I hope you enjoyed watching me put the final touches to this Clonetrooper helmet. Sorry about the lighting, it's got dark outside while I've been filming this, and fixing those fans took a bit longer than I expected. Overall pretty happy. I think we can do a bit better in incorporating the fans into the helmet a bit better, hiding some of those cables, adjusting the positioning just a little bit, but I'm just going to do that in my own time. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. I will see you in the next video. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.